Well, Durwood Zalke is a climate specialist. He joins me now live from Washington. Why is there a specific focus on this now at this particular summit?
Well, the one that's going on in Paris is critical because the ice in the Arctic is highly reflective, and it sends incoming solar radiation safely back to space. It acts as a great white shield that's keeping the temperature from warming even faster than it is warming. And if we lose this sea ice, which we're on course to do within 10 to 15 years, we will add a tremendous amount of additional warming because we'll expose the darker ocean, which will absorb the incoming solar radiation instead of sending it safely back to space. The paper a couple of years ago by Pistone, Eisenman, and Ramanathan calculates that we've already lost about half of the reflective sea ice. And when we lose the second half, we'll add the equivalent of 25 years worth of current climate emissions, or about 1 trillion tons of CO2 equivalent. And that will collapse the permafrost in the northern hemisphere, and that will liberate ancient stores of methane, one of the super climate pollutants, as well as CO2 and nitrous oxide. So you'll start this wicked cascade that will lead us to the hothouse world and climate chaos. So it's very important to learn, how do you slow down warming in the Arctic? And the number one way to do that is to cut methane and the other super climate pollutants, which can cut the rate of Arctic warming by 2/3. So this is a tremendous opportunity to go after methane, which you can think of as a blowtorch, which is moving the climate from global warming to global boiling. We want to stop the global boiling. We want to save the Arctic. Turn the blowtorch off.
But how easy is that, though? And how frustrating is it, do you find, that you can't turn the ship on this, that countries aren't listening effectively?
Well, we have, of course, the 28th meeting of the Conference of Parties to the UN Climate Treaty coming up just a couple of weeks. And the president of the meeting is Dr. Sultan Al Jaber. He also is the head of the national oil company, ADNOC. And he has said that he wants to round up national oil companies and get them to make a pledge to reduce methane to near zero. This is a very important goal, but it's not enough. Pledges are voluntary. He needs to convince the national oil companies, and the private ones as well, that they need to take mandatory measures to stop wasting natural gas. So methane is natural gas. It is a valuable fuel right now. The world needs more of, temporarily because of the war in the Ukraine. And so let's have a mandatory agreement. Let's have a global methane agreement that is launched at the meeting next month in United Arab Emirates. That global methane agreement should be inspired by another sectoral agreement called the Montreal Protocol, which is the treaty that has already solved the first great threat to the global atmosphere, that we were destroying stratospheric ozone, and at the same time has done more to slow warming than any other agreement. It has avoided warming that otherwise would equal what carbon dioxide is causing today, which is about 55% of warming. So this treaty, Montreal Protocol, should be our inspiration.
We're going to have to leave it there, but as ever, thank you very much, climate specialist Durwood Zalke, live in Washington, D.C.